If you've tried D-Log footage and your footage still looks rubbish, it's probably coming down to the fact that you're just not converting it properly. You switch to D-Log because everyone says it looks better, and true, technically it is, but when you try it, the footage just ends up looking worse than it did if you were shooting in the normal color profile. I'm going to show you my exact simple workflow that I use on my Osmo Pocket 3, which I'm filming with at the moment, and every DJI action camera that I use. Now, D-Log footage is supposed to be flat, that's the whole point of it. The mistake happens when you try to then work with that footage. So before I even talk about how to get it looking normal in the edit, this is where you need to start. Because if your base footage is completely wrong, no amount of tweaking or LUTs are going to save it. The better the lighting, the cleaner the footage is going to be, and the higher quality, just from good lighting alone. You don't even need a fancy setup. You can literally use natural light by sitting by a window or filming outside, even in your car, like I do on so many occasions. If you're indoors, overcast days are great for natural light if you're sitting or standing by the window. But with these small cameras, lots of light gives the highest quality, so bright days actually works to your advantage and often doesn't look too hard when the sun is directly in front of you. So first off, you do not need to shoot in manual camera settings. It's very rare that I do that these days. And to keep this very simple, I'm going to give you my auto settings that I use when I'm filming outdoors. The only real time that I shoot in manual is if I'm shooting indoors and I'm doing a sit-down talking head video, kind of like I'm doing now, and my situation or my lighting and my environment is very controlled, but I'll get onto those settings in a little bit. First things first, set the camera to D-Log, obviously. So when I'm outdoors, I do this. I set my exposure to auto, which sets the shutter speed automatically. My ISO is then set to 50 to 3200 if I'm on the Pocket 3, or 100 to 6400 if I'm on the other action cameras. My EV meter is set to -0.3, so highlights aren't too hot, especially if it's a really bright sunny day. White balance is on auto if I'm not staying in one place. The cameras are really great these days when it comes to auto white balance, especially if you're moving around the scene very quickly. If you know that you are going to be in one set place, I would then set the white balance to manual, because you can kind of see flickering in between different color casts, so it can flicker between different colors when you're just in a very when the frame is static, you kind of see that. But if you're moving around between different locations, you can't see that, and the white balance does a really good job of keeping up with the scene. So with auto white balance, you just set it to auto. If you want to set it to manual, there is a good trick that I say in pretty much any video where I'm talking about my settings. Basically, you have the camera set to auto white balance, hold it up in your scene for about 1 to 2 seconds, and then hit manual, and that is going to make sure it's in the scene in the direction that you're filming. So if you're filming yourself, you want to have it facing you, the camera in your direction. Leave it in the scene for about 1 to 2 seconds, and then hit manual, and that's going to set the value for you automatically if you don't know how to do that. And by the way, if you don't want to remember all these settings or screenshot it, I have included my exact camera settings for when I'm outdoors and indoors in a setting sheet with the LUTs when you download them, and that link is in the description. So you can basically just copy what I do without having to memorize everything that I'm telling you now. So when I'm indoors and I'm doing a talking head, much like I'm doing now, and I'm not moving, I'm literally just sat in one place, I set my camera up manually. So like I said earlier, you are going to need good light, and if you don't have artificial lights, like I've got a light in the background there, it's not on, but I do have a light over there, which is on, I think it's on 40%, so it's just giving me a little bit more light here. But if you don't have lights, then you can literally just sit by a window or sit in front of a window, and that's going to be absolutely fine. So the next thing is setting the exposure manually. Much like I'm doing now, I am sat in one place. Even though I'm moving, the scene isn't changing whatsoever. And in that respect, having your exposure set manually means that you get a more natural look, not just with the look of the footage, but also with the motion. So if you shoot, depending on the frame rate that you use, I shoot in 25 FPS, you want to make your shutter speed double the frame rate. And this isn't necessarily just for the motion blur, but the lower your shutter speed is going to be, the more light the camera is going to get, which means that you don't have to increase the ISO, which then introduces noise to your image, which then degrades the quality of the image. So even though the shutter speed, when you're doubling it for your frame rate, and you're usually going to be shooting in 24 FPS, 25 or 30 FPS, that's going to keep your shutter speed quite low. So it's going to be, I don't know if you can do 48 on the Pocket or the action camera. No, you can't, it's 50. So 1/50th of a second or 1/60th of a second. So that's keeping the camera shutter speed low so that the ISO can also not have to be increased, so the ISO can stay low so you don't get that grainy footage. So whilst I am talking about the ISO, you want to set that manually as well. And you can do this and know if it's correct by looking at the EV meter, which you'll see in the top left corner of whichever camera you're using. And as I said earlier, having the EV meter set to -0.3 means that the highlights aren't so hot, they're not like very bright. And so you want to do the same thing even when you're indoors. And setting your ISO to make sure that the EV meter falls at -0.3 is how you set your ISO. So you might have to set it at 100, you might have to set it at 50, you might have to set it at 200. Just set it so that the EV meter is showing -0.3, and that's going to give you the correct exposure. Now again, white balance is going to be manual because I'm literally just sitting here, nothing's changing, and so I don't want to have slight flickers in between different color casts. So again, whilst I am just sitting in one static place, nothing is changing, the white balance is going to be set manually just like we did earlier. Now the conversion. This is where people overcomplicate it. Too many LUTs means too many decisions and too much tweaking. I use 3 LUTs, my signature D-Log-M LUTs. I use them across the Pocket 3 and every single DJI camera that I own, so everything matches. They're built for a clean, natural finish. No creative styles with these ones, no weird colours. You just choose your finish, drop it on, and you're done. I don't like faff. I don't want to sit there tweaking sliders for 20 minutes. Ain't nobody got time for that. If your base settings are right, like I showed you earlier, this literally becomes a 10-second job, especially if you use an adjustment layer and you just drag it across your entire timeline. Check this out. So this is why I use the same 3 LUTs across all of my DJI cameras when I shoot in D-Log-M, because everything just matches. You don't need 20 LUTs, you're never going to use them all. All you need is 3 finishes that work every single time. And if you want my exact conversion I use in all my D-Log-M footage that I've also used throughout this video, I have linked my signature LUTs below in the description and in a pinned comment. Catch you later, my friend.